Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to this week's edition of Mental Mondays on Intuitive Angling, and thanks for coming by the channel, spending some time with me today. I always appreciate that. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome to Mental Mondays. We do this once a week. Doesn't really have anything to do with fishing, but we just like to talk about some topics that sort of stretch your mind a little bit, make everybody think. Guys, today we're going to be talking about people that cannot keep their mouth shut when you're having a conversation with them, and they tend to especially talk over people all the time. I think that we've all been around some people like this occasionally, and it's extremely prevalent with politicians, so we're going to discuss that. I'd really be curious to get your guys' opinion on it as well. But the reason I wanted to do this video is I saw last week there was one of the governors of one of our states here in the country. She's been sort of involved in some turmoil with some stuff that she said, and she was going around to some different talk shows doing interviews, and every single time that I saw her on an interview, she would not keep her mouth shut. It's like the interviewer would ask her a question and she just would not stop. The interviewer would try to ask a question or reiterate something. It's like it went in one ear and out the other, and she just kept talking over and over and over. I would just want to say, would you shut the F up and let that interviewer ask you a question? But she would not stop. It's almost like every time that, the interviewer pressed her on a response or something to try to, get some type of a conversation going, she would just get louder and even talk over and not even take a breath, just like blah, 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 just like on and on and on. So I think that we've all seen this to some extent. Like I said, if you followed politics enough, there's a segment of the political factions out there that's how they operate. It's like there's no give and take to a conversation. It's like they get on there, they get a platform, and they start talking, and they won't shut up. They just keep talking over and over and over. Almost, it's like a power trip to them. It's almost like a control issue. Very dysfunctional. And here's the thing about that. It's like when you get around people like that, not just if you're listening to a politician. I mean, if I was that interviewer with that governor, I would say, we're done here. You don't know how to have a conversation, so get off my stage. But if you get around somebody like that simply will not let you get a word in, you just have to distance yourself. Just say, I've got to go. Just do not let people do that to you. It's like a control issue. It's a power move that people make when they do that. And those people, most of the time, are energy suckers. And we talked a little bit about this on the channel before on Mental Mondays. Energy suckers are people like that are prime examples of that governor. She was just an energy sucker where, there's no give and take. It's like when you're having an interaction or you're having a dialogue with a person out there, the healthy way to do that is, you state something, you make a point, and you pause to let the other person, have a rebuttal on it. You don't just keep talking and talking and talking and never stop talking and ignore what the other person is trying to tell you. That is completely dysfunctional and unproductive. It's like when you get around people like that, you can't feed them. And the way that you feed them is by continuing that conversation or allowing them to, keep saying what they're saying. Because here's another thing that I've noticed about people like that, like with that governor. It's like, you can ask them, it's like, say for example, you can say, that's a nice tree over there. What do you think about a walnut tree? Do you like walnut trees? And then they would start talking about something that had nothing to do with a walnut tree. It's like people out there with, like, when you ask questions and they try to gaslight you, that's another example of somebody like that that's just trying to make some type of a power move and is not worthy of your time or effort. And I've noticed that prevalent. There's a group of people out there, sort of a type of a personality, and that personality is closely connected to people, whether it be in the business world, some people, not all people, or the political arena. People out there that gaslight the conversation, talk over other people, and it's just not productive for nothing gets done. The only thing that gets done is the person that's trying to gaslight you or talk over you. They feel like, it gives them some sense of power. And you can't give power to people that do not deserve power. That's one of the things that I found out in our society, is that a lot of times, especially in our political arena, we tend to give power to people that have no business with power, people that are irresponsible with that power, people that don't have enough critical thinking skills to be responsible with power. And sort of like one of the biggest dysfunctional aspects of our society that I see out there. But anyway, point of the video, guys, is when you're around people like that, just don't feed into their game, don't feed into their energy. Just dismiss yourself from the situation, neutralize it, and that's the best way to put a stop to it. Because ultimately, there's a group of people out there that they're unable to have a conversation. That for whatever reason, it's some type of character flaw, it's some type of personality disorder. A lot of times, going back to when they were younger, but more than anything else, the way that I have seen it, or the common thread that bounds it from what I see it, are people that are addicted to power and positions of power. If you guys have ever been around people that are extremely wealthy, I've been around a few of those people that are billionaires before, and every person that I've been around like that, it's like they don't, when you have a conversation with them, there's not a conversation. They talk at you and they talk through you, and it's like when they're talking, it's almost like they're not engaging. They don't make eye contact hardly ever. They're just talking at you, and it's like when you try to respond to them, they don't. It's like it doesn't register. It's like they've turned off, and they don't care what anyone else has to say. All they care about is getting their point out and then just going on. And like I said, those people are not worthy of your time or your attention or any effort to put into them. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. I'd be curious. Like I said, I just saw that interview last week, and it just reminded me of the dysfunction that we have out there in our society when it comes to things like that. So we'll see y'all next week.